earlier.
Oh, work.
Yeah, they did. Like Facebook broadcast is delivered on Facebook. The stream a new broadcast or news destination for broadcast. It looks like we live on YouTube, but I gotta fix my Facebook stuff. They kind of like hating on me.
All right.
They flagging my account.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, they kind of like leery about people posting right now. Facebook acting funny, so they kind of like flagging my stuff. But I ain't even say nothing crazy. That's the crazy thing about everything.
They on your head.
Yeah, they're on my neck right now. So now I can go back live.
All right.
About that. They seem like they're stopping me. That's crazy.
See a couple people in the chat. Terry, Paul, one time, Kilgore, what up?
Yeah, that's my YouTube family. YouTube, they showing me love. Facebook ain't showing me no love. If not, we'll rock with YouTube and just share it to Facebook.
All right. Do I need to be logged in or something?
What to what? Logged in? Now you good. They can see you.
Oh, okay. All right.
You good. It's just before. Let me try to take all these descriptions off.
One time, I'm good, man. I'm good.
All right, let's get to it. If not, we just rock with the YouTube. Oh, I think I know what it is. They don't like me putting all my little links on there.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, like all my little affiliate stuff.
Oh, then it come up and say something like you can't post or something like that.
But yeah, it's against community standards.
Yeah. That happened. Yeah, that happened to me before.
For real?
Yeah, with links.
Yeah, they don't like them links. Remind me of the same. It remind me of the scene on Belly when they're like, "Yeah, we gotta drop a diamond on." But yeah, all right. So I'm about to go and announce you. Sorry about the delay, brother. Usually I be on point with Facebook, man. I just wanted to make sure everybody be able to see it. I'm refreshing. There you go. I see myself. Public. So I made it public. Yeah, so I know now on Facebook I'm gonna put them links on there. I bet. That's cool. Let's rock and roll. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Nothing But Nuggets podcast with your boy Antoine Campbell, the I Giver. Today I got my guy all the way from the Richmond, Virginia area, Chris Jefferson, aka CJ. Chris, introduce yourself to everyone who may not know who you are.
Chris Jefferson, man, real estate investor here in Richmond, Virginia. Been doing this thing 10 years. You probably see me on IG. Maybe you see me on YouTube, Facebook, hanging out with Antoine, Maxwell, all these different folks. I'm here for the culture, man. I believe in helping see people become successful, be successful, achieve their dreams. Much like Antoine, Started out doing wholesaling, got into fix and flip, new construction, ended up getting into apartments. And then I got back into wholesaling. And man, we just been having some fun with it, doing wholesaling, coaching, different things, man, just having a blast, man.
And that's awesome, man. It sounds like you living a life like a rock star. So like how did you get started? Like how you first get put on to the whole real estate thing?
Yeah, so I first heard about real estate just by kind of paying attention. And a girl I was dating at the time, her mom had retired in her 40s from real estate. Ended up reaching out to her, and she introduced me to somebody that owned a mortgage company. And it kind of just kept trickling down from there, man. I just kept paying attention to kind of just looking for opportunities, paying attention to the signs, and opportunity kept presenting itself. And I was just in a position to be aware and take advantage of that, man. But it really came down to networking and getting an opportunity to get some connections with people, and taking those connections and running with it.
Man, that's great. So like currently, like what you got going on? Like what's your current business looking like right now as we speak?
Yeah, so my current business is wholesaling. I've got a couple of fix and flips that I've still got my hands in. Right now I'm working on about 4 or 5 fix and flips. We're wholesaling. And then I've got my education business, Charged Up University, where we're teaching people about wholesaling. So that's really what I got going on right now, man. I love the wholesale business. We've been working through the COVID-19 issues and the changes in the business. So, I've been working through that. I want people to know that doing business, doing deals is definitely still possible. You just got to get out here and make some adjustments and keep it going.
Yeah. Speaking of the COVID, like what are some things that you did to kind of like pivot? About like making sure you're able to still do deals consistently.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think the biggest thing has been, getting in touch with buyers to see who's still doing deals, who isn't, what type of deals they're looking for, and being intentional about shifting our business to find deals for those people. And what I mean by that is, a year ago, you could wholesale whatever. You get something under contract, you get it going quick, no problem. That started to change. So what we're experiencing, what we're seeing right now is you got to be in a space where you know what your buyers want.
Right.
There's not as many buyers in the market anymore. We've seen a lot of buyers on our buyers list that have dropped out of the market. So the business has shifted. So you got to make sure you're paying attention to what the buyers are out there and available and still purchasing. You want to know exactly what they're looking for right now.
Right. And speaking of buyers, like you still currently buying yourself? Like you doing buying holds, or you kind of chilled out?
Nah, so I'm still buying holds. Right now, I'm not looking for any new flips. If something comes up and it's a good deal, I'll jump on it. But I'm not actively looking for any flips to do. But I'm definitely looking for buying holds. Absolutely.
All right, let's take it back a little bit. You said something about Charged Up University. For the people who may not be aware, what is Charged Up University and how did you come up with that?
Yeah, man. So Charged Up University is an affordable group training that I put together. It's a weekly group training where we teach people how to do their first deal, and then we teach people that are doing deals here and there, haven't been able to become consistent in the business. We teach them the systems and processes to become consistent. Because in reality, the same thing you need to do a deal every single month if you've already been wholesaling is the same thing you need to do to have your first deal. So that's what we put together with Charged Up University. The way that it came together is when I met Max at an event, Max Maxwell at an event that you did, I think last August, I want to say.
Right.
Met Max, him and I built a relationship, became good friends. And he kept encouraging me to do things to help the community, do things to help teach people real estate and kind of give some of my knowledge and expertise from the last 10 years to the people. And went through different things, trying to figure out what was the right fit, what made sense, for us to do between running a real business and then also trying to create time to create content and help people get into the business, things of that nature. So we put together Charged Up University, and it's been fun, man. I mean, I think we've had it open for applications in the last 30, or no, I'm sorry, not 30 days, last 3 weeks, something like that. We've got almost 40 students in there. People are excited. We've got people that are doing business, being active. So it's been cool, man.
Man, that's great because, like, so many people come into this business, man, and they don't know where to go to get quality education. And there's so many people like saying, "Hey, don't pay a guru; they bash your guru." And the fact of the matter is, there's nothing wrong with quality education. So,
Yeah,
man,
absolutely.
I'm ecstatic that you actually jumped out there, man, and actually stopped producing quality education because
Nah,
this industry is lacking it.
yeah, and at the end of the day, man, and like I try to explain to people, you can figure things out yourself, and that's perfectly fine, right? I started out my business figuring things out by myself. It also took me 2 years to do my first deal, right?
Right,
So at the end of the day, what I explain to folks is, you up in Maryland, right? If you want to
yeah,
drive down to Richmond, it's going to take you, let's just say, 2 hours, right? Now you can drive down to Richmond and go 30 miles an
it's
hour.
definitely gonna be 2 hours. Right?
Yeah, so you can drive down to Richmond and go 30 miles an hour, or you can drive down to Richmond and go 70 miles an hour, right? You're going to get there either way. One is just going to get you there much faster. And what people have to understand, man, having a coach or a mentor, however you want to word it, in my opinion, is important if you find the right person that you feel comfortable with, because it's going to help you go 70 miles an hour. And the reality is, like I always say, speed is life. You got to be focused on getting where you're trying to go as quickly as possible, because as we've seen in the last 60, 90 days, I mean, stuff can change just like that.
Right, right. And you said something that was to me that was very interested. Like how far, like you still going the same place, but it's just a matter of speed, the velocity of speed. Like I think, man, when I first started out, man, I had to try to learn everything on my own. But then when I realized that I need to go see the people that specialize in a specific trade or skill that I needed, that's when things took off for me overnight. So I agree to that. That really
And
works.
I'll say something on that real quick. I mean, even in my own business, man, I didn't have a mentor or coach starting out, and it took me a long time to get things going and get some traction. And once I finally did, the way my business grew fast and aggressively was because I started to go and seek out coaching from different people and pay for that.
Right, right. So so currently, like what are you doing as far as marketing? Like, is there a different way you marketing because of COVID? What's your favorite list? You know,
Yeah, so we haven't changed the way that we market because of COVID. We're still doing cold calling, we're still doing SMS, still doing RVM. We're doing more cold calling than anything else right now. We're making about 3,000 calls a day right now. Really like cold calling. Yeah, nah, we on the phones, man. We on the phones, and getting the calls out. That's really been our biggest lead source. Honestly, has been cold calling. One change we made because of COVID is we were already focused on closing deals by phone, but we've been more intentional about closing our deals over the phone without going to look at the property. That's been working really well. With COVID and everything going on. Honestly, man, my best and I'd say probably favorite lists right now have been absentee 60 plus, which people hear me talk about a lot. Absentee low income have been really good for me, 110%. I'm liking both of those. And then absentee, stack with vacant, absentee stack with vacant has been booming for me as well.
I 60 plus years old. Stuff like that you don't find on Propstream or Propelio. Where in the world could they get a list like that from?
Yeah, so I've got an affiliation with a site, and that's where we get a lot of our data. You can check out chargeduplist.com. Go check it out, man. I mean, you can go on there, click on Chris's favorites, put in your zip code, put in your county, and right at the bottom, it will have the 3 lists that I just mentioned. available for you to purchase a list on for your area. But yeah, chargeduplist.com, man. That absentee 60 plus, that list is a hit, and it works great for cold calling because you're getting older, elderly, more elderly people, and a lot of those folks are looking to downsize, or they've got properties that they don't want to deal with anymore, or they're in the process of retiring. So those lists have been really good.
Man, that's dope. And so 12 months from now, like what are some things that you're looking forward to 12 months, or some things you're planning on doing in the next 12 months?
Yeah, so in the next 12 months, I've got a real big focus on picking up more properties with creative financing, getting owner finance terms, things of that nature. That's something I've been real intentional about doing more of, and I'm enjoying in that. I think we're going to be seeing a shift in the market that's going to increase the ability to do deals like that and generate wealth. So I'm focusing greatly on that. I'm going to continue to be doing the education, man, and growing that business. And extending the reach of the amount of people we coach and help on a daily basis. And then inside of my business, the wholesale business as well, we're going to continue to push that and work through, what we see in the market. And at some point, I'll get back into doing more heavy fix and flips. And when I say heavy, I don't think I'll ever get back to doing heavy construction fix and flips, but I'll get back into doing a lot of cosmetic fix and flips and doing those in volume probably in the next 12 months for sure.
Yeah, that's great. Because that's into the Robbins book right before we got on the call, and he was talking about, I think asset rebalancing and things of that nature. Like, you got to make sure, even as an entrepreneur, you got to make sure you're not over leveraging one thing. How important is it for you to make sure that you're not over leveraged? Because we both are people of some type of influence, and there's no question about it that we make a profit of helping people sometimes, right?
Yeah.
How important is it? How important is it for you as an entrepreneur to look at all your companies that you own and to make sure you're giving each company that individualized attention?
Yeah, I mean, it's super important. It's not the easiest thing to do. When you're managing, different companies and different individuals, stuff like that, it can get hectic. It can get stressful. But at the end of the day, man, it's important to not have all your eggs in one basket. And the reason I say that is because when there's adjustments in the marketplace, there's people right now that are, Airbnb investors, right? And they're having a really, really hard time right now because they built their entire business based solely on doing Airbnbs and vacation rentals. And you don't want to back yourself in a corner or put yourself against the ropes where you can't really put together different streams of income because you've crippled yourself against one, right? So that's something that I've been really, being focused on and being intentional about making happen for sure.
And with your business, like, what percentage of your business is like actually people here in the States? Maybe some outsourcing employees. Like, what do you currently outsource? What do you currently keep in house?
Yeah, so all of our callers are in house now. So that's one thing that we switched around with the market, and then all of our VAs now are data entry VAs, or they assist in some sort of assistant capacity in terms of managing my email or helping inside of our Facebook group, things of that nature. So I mean that's been one big shift. We used to have virtual callers in terms of VAs, things of that nature. This isn't going to work for everybody. It works for me and my business. So we switched back to having local callers. That's been really helpful and I think impactful in the business. And not that VAs don't work. Obviously, VAs work. I've used VAs to make calls for years. But there's a lot of people that are out of employment right now, could use employment. So we saw it as an opportunity to pick up some really good talent and get different people in the right spots while they were available to really help grow the business.
Man, that's awesome, because your ability to see an opportunity and to pivot directly into that direction in a moment's notice I mean, that takes a special kind of leader to say, hey, we're going to pretty much double our costs or triple our costs and overhead to do this project. And not too many people have that uh, stomach, for risk. Um, what's some current things that you're doing in your business that you think that maybe a newbie should take consideration to implement? What are some things that you're doing that you know for sure from your coaching clients that you see them struggle that call and take right now and utilize?
Yeah, so the biggest thing, man, all right, is you got to stop playing on the fence. You gotta go get a list and go get a good list, go to charged up lists. Go to some of these different list companies that have good quality lists. Go get a good quality list, spend some money on that list. Don't cheap out on that. And then you need to go skip trace that list, all right? And use a quality skip trace company. I know you got easy skip tracing. You got to use a quality skip trace company, get back great data, and you got to go beat the phones, and making 5-10 calls a day isn't enough. It's not going to cut it. Now, again, I said earlier, we do about 3,000 calls a day. I'm not saying everybody should be doing that, but you need to be trying to make $100 a day. I see a lot of people that they spend a lot of time going and drive for dollars and stuff like that. And I understand that. And there's nothing wrong with driving for dollars at all. But the amount of volume you can get done making phone calls in comparison, you really can't beat it. So I think people got to be more intentional about getting a quality list, skip tracing that list, and then getting on the phone and just making the calls. A lot of people just don't want to make the phone call, but you got to figure out how to overcome that hurdle and get the calls done. And if you can't, and you're in a financial position too, then you need to be getting a VA on the phone to make those calls for you, because that's what's going to be most effective.
And the type of call flow, like what does your call flow look like? As far as like, are you just strictly cold calling that list and just beating the shot out that list until you can't do it no more, or is there some other strategy implement as IBMs or SMS in conjunction with call?
So everybody's method is different, right? So like Max has the conveyor belt method. I know a couple other people talk about that. So for me personally, I believe in doing all of it at one time. So cold call, text, RVM. So we do all those things at one time, but they come from alternate phone numbers. So it's not like somebody's getting hit from the same number with cold calls, right, and then the same number with text, and the same number with RVMs. Those are all coming from 3 different numbers, so that people can respond to what marketing works and makes sense for them. So that's what works for me in that regard. How that works inside of my business is, if our callers are making phone calls, we no longer make the offer on our first phone call. We used to do that. Sometimes we do that still if it's somebody that we need to give a soft offer to. But how that's set up in our business now is we really push and work our script very heavily, and that gets then processed into a handoff, and generally that handoff is going to come to me directly. So our call rep or whoever's texting, whatever the case might be, will work the call up until the point of, or work the lead rather, up until the point that lead is ready for an offer and has been fully qualified, that they're a motivated seller and ready to sell within a 30, 60, 90-day timeline. And then we get on the line with them, or I get on the line with them to close that lead and get that done.
And that's awesome. It reminds me of like football, like the hurry up offense. Like you're not giving the people no time to regather their thoughts.
Yeah, you got to hand it off, man. You gotta you got to hand it off. You got to get people close. I always say, man, we're all calling the same lists. We're all talking to the same people. If you want to be effective, you got to move with speed. And so that's how I like to do my business and structure things is, how can we move with speed? How can we move as fast as possible to get this from an initial contact into a closed deal? And if it's not a closed deal, that's fine. Let's quickly establish that and let's get them into a follow-up sequence.
How important is mindset to you? Like, what are some things that you demand from the people working around you when it comes to mindset and accountability?
You kind of broke up on the first part of that. Say it one more time.
I said, how important is mindset to you, and what are some things as far as like the people around you, as far as mindset and accountability, like your team? How important is that to you?
It's important, man, because in my opinion, and I've said it before, man, mindset is the most critical part of the business. It's what takes you from being able to be, for lack of better words, a winner or a loser when it comes to this business. This business is a mental roller coaster. It'll beat you up. I've been doing this 10 years, and there's still days that it beats me up. I'm sure you experience the same thing, but
Oh, yeah.
you gotta be mentally strong enough and mentally aware enough to be able to work through that roller coaster, that up and down swing of being in the business. You know, one day you're high up on the horse and high fiving, and everybody on the team is happy and da 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 da. And the next day, a deal falls through, and you want to have the right people around you that can handle and deal with that, because some people, a deal can fall through, and they were counting on that money. We all were counting on that money, and then morale could go down, or they could be frustrated and not apply the same and attention to their work and things of that nature, and that could be detrimental to the team. You got to be able to miss a shot, man, and move on to the next shot. Throw an interception and be able to come back out on the field and not be scared to throw the ball again. So it's definitely a mental business. You got to be strong mentally to do this. I think people underestimate how much of a mental business it is.
Now, what's your opinion about people that's coming over from the W-2 world? And like I think the W-2 world people get hit the hardest because they got all of these uh, um, benefits, such as being unionized, such as having a set schedule, such as working 40 hours a week, and they know at the end of the week there's a paycheck waiting for them. And
Yeah,
wholesaling is one of the few businesses I can think of where you can give it your all and
and
be,
I
and at the end of the week ain't shit there for you.
yeah, now listen, that's definitely wholesaling. All right. You got a lot of people that get into this and they have that W-2 mindset, or they have that job mindset. You got to find a way to escape that. The problem when you had a W-2 or job mindset is, I agree with you, right? You feel that anything you do, dollars should be returned to you for that effort.
All right.
Right? And the reality is that's not how business works, number one, but that's not how wholesaling as a business works at all, right? And so a lot of people get frustrated, I think, inside of this business because they're so focused and locked in on, okay, well, I've worked 5 hours today, right? So I
Right.
should have a paycheck that's paying me for those 5 hours on Friday. That's not how this goes, right? And I think a lot of people kind of lose themselves in this business as a result of that thought process. So you got to get comfortable with the understanding of you're taking time to invest in you, but you're also taking time to build something for later down the road, right? So for me, if I'm putting time on something, even if it's not paying me now, but I know the opportunity is there down the road for it to pay me greatly later, then I don't mind putting that time in and going ahead and laying the wood, man, and getting to work. That's what I had to do that's why it took me so long to do my first deal. But yeah, man, I mean, some people get jaded by that job mindset, and you can't allow that to restrict you from being able to move forward and get things done.
Speaking of your first deal, like you said, you went 2 years without your first deal. When the world kept you going? Like,
Man,
I'm not here to disrespect anybody, but I know a lot of people that quit on themselves in the first 30 days, the first
yeah,
60 days, the first 90 days. Like,
yeah.
man, you both come across so many different people, so many different walks of forms of life. When the world kept you going for 2 years?
Man, it's hard to say, but I believe in the universe, man. I believe that my ancestors are guiding me and watching over me on a daily basis, and moving me in the right direction for what my calling is in life. And a lot of that was just not giving up, man. Now, don't get me wrong. Like I said in the interview I did a couple of weeks ago with Wholesale Hotline, there was plenty of times where I was ready to check out, plenty of times where I was ready to give up on the business, wanted to go back to college, wanted to just go keep working at my job, try to be a supervisor, whatever the case might be. But I had good people around me. I think that's really important. I think that helped me out a lot. I didn't have people around me that, were telling me that the business wouldn't work, or I was spending too much time on the business and not getting anything in return. Like I cut all those people out of my life, right? I got rid of all. I rid my life of that negativity. So anybody that I was around that would say stuff like, "Oh man, I thought you was a real estate investor. You done looked at 10 houses and haven't bought one, or haven't done this or that, or why you keep trying to do this wholesale thing? It's not going to work." If somebody watching this has got people in their ear right now saying those same things, I just checked out with those people, stopped communicating with those people, because I knew that I needed to have positive energy around me to get to the places that I wanted to go, man. So I think you got to make that commitment to yourself, to stay focused on the business, have the right people around you. Because when I was in those weak moments, so when I had a weak moment where I wanted to give up, and this isn't one time thing, this is multiple times I had a weak moment where I felt like I wanted to give up on real estate and, all these different things. I had people around me that I was willing to have vulnerable conversations with and be truthful with and let them know how I was feeling at that time. And these were people that already had success in the business. And I had those people around me to encourage me to keep going and stay focused. So you got to build the right circle around you. You got to have the right people around you at all times. And you got to keep negativity out of your way. If you allow negativity to be around you, it's going to impact you in some shape or form.
I agree. And to add to that, like the majority of the people I know that's entrepreneurs toes and handle their business without asking anybody for stuff, they don't have many friends. They don't have many, like, their circle not that big. They don't have 20, 30 people they can pick up the phone and call. What are some of the factors that you think that's the reason why they operate in that capacity?
I think a lot of that is, man, I mean, I don't have 20, 30 people on my phone that I could call with close personal information. I think a lot of that is, man, is business teaches you early to realize that business is kind of like war, man. You got people that are on your side and you got people that aren't. And once you establish that, you start to build your team, your circle of people, your sphere of influence, and you realize the people that you need to have in your life and the people that you don't. If you're not around like-minded individuals that are not working towards the same thing, you got to change that circle. Because here's the deal, right? Like a deal falls through for me or you, and we miss out on $10,000 in income, right? I'm gonna be upset about that. You're gonna be upset about that.
Right.
Now, if you go talk to the person working at T-Mobile, making $15 an hour like I used to, right? And that's even if it's your friend, man. They don't really want to hear nothing about you losing out on making $10,000.
Nah, they don't want to hear that.
They
And
don't.
to them, it almost sounds like you bragging. Like anything you say out your mouth is taken
Exactly.
as you bragging. So you got to put your. I learned like over the past 7 years, like I live in a bubble. Like,
Right.
and it's not on purpose. Like because like you can say something out your mouth right now. You probably can say something on my podcast right now, and you didn't do it intentionally. You know what I mean? And as an entrepreneur, like I struggle with that every day. Like, how can I be, normal, but how can I still express my emotions without people always taking it that I'm either talking about doing in particular or that I am going through something personal, or
Yeah,
like,
that's always the case, man. When you got an audience or you got people who look up to you, things of that nature. I mean, at the end of the day, we people too. We've got life stuff going on just like everybody else. We've just been willing to step out and create a platform to help inspire and motivate other people to bring them with us on this journey of real estate and figuring this whole thing out. There's a lot of people that aren't willing or don't want to do that. But it is it is a tough gig, but you know, that's the calling, man. That's the space that we've been put in, and you know, you gotta try to motivate and inspire the people to get things done.
Yeah, I agree, man, because like everybody that I know that became successful in business, um, they did that by involving into a shop. You can't be a easygoing person. You can't be an understanding person. You can't because you get taken advantage of. You know that when you got hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table every day, like uh, it's easy for you to be taken advantage of. And you know you got to protect yourself, your friends, your investors, like anybody that you do business with. And so many people they don't see that until they get taken advantage of, and then they want to retreat. But eventually they become a shop. Do you consider
Yeah,
yourself a shop?
yeah. That's why I say business is war, man. I mean, you gotta assume that everybody is moving in a space of distrust, man, and
Right.
and until they can prove it and show you otherwise. Because if not, you know, you consistently going to get taken advantage of. And at the end of the day, one thing that I realize is when that is the space that you're in and that's things that you're doing, it's only you that loses money. You know,
Right.
everybody else gets what they want from you. They make the money off of you they want to make. They get to experience the things off of you they want to experience. And then they'll happily leave you holding the bag or leaving you in a bad spot. Because at the end of the day, it's every man for himself, right? Everybody's looking to
Right.
take care of them. And that's why it's important to try to build that circle around you, that circle of people that you can lean into and trust, regardless if you're on the same page about everything or not. You know, you wanna have that circle of trust around you, because at the end of the day, for me, I don't like being around anybody that can't work through any turbulence. You know, as soon as the plane gets shaky, if you looking to abort the mission and
They got the
go,
person in their back hopping off the plane like hell with this.
yeah, that's not somebody I want on the same flight as me, man.
Right. I feel you. I feel you because it's easy to celebrate when things are good. You know what I mean? As an entrepreneur, I think that's when entrepreneurs are made and they're defined how great they are versus the schools that's presented to them.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, I mean, to be a successful entrepreneur, you gotta be built for pressure. You gotta be built for not being celebrated. You gotta be built for not everybody agreeing with the things that you do or don't do. And you gotta be. It takes a certain bit of craziness, right? Because you gotta be crazy enough to believe in yourself that no matter what other people
Right.
think, you can get accomplish the things that you want to accomplish. You know?
Right. I always say better yourself, so I agree with that.
Yeah.
So so what 10 years from now, I always ask everybody this on my show. 10 years from now, we at the start of a new decade, right? It's 2020. 10 years from now would be 2030. What you hope to accomplish in the next 10 years?
Yeah, man. At that point in 10 years, I hope to be doing some larger scale developments in terms of commercial mixed use properties. I want to make sure and be intentional about creating spaces for entrepreneurs who look like me, so that they have space to grow and work their businesses in, and be a conduit to help different communities grow and build throughout my city. That's something really important to me. That's something that's on my 10-year list for sure. And I'm planting the seeds and doing things to work into that direction right now. And I think that's going to be, critical. I think that's going to be big, man. 110%.
Yes. So we're gonna wrap it up in a second. 'Cause I know you got things to do. You about your money. Um, question, right? We've had these incidents that happened in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
You know, how you taking this stuff and where you stand at? How you feel about everything that's going on.
No, I think that's a good question, man. It's been an emotional week. Last 7 days. As a black man in this country, I've dealt with racism my entire life. I grew up in an area that was predominantly white, here in the rural South. I've had things said to me that don't need to repeat right now, but it's built certain traumas in my life that I've been able to work through and get figured out. And it's become important to me more so now than ever, and it has been, but more so now than ever. I feel that our country's at a turning point. I feel like we're in a space where the opportunity is there and clear to be able to unite and stand in the face of racism collectively, regardless of what you look like. We're all born to know right and wrong. We can't help the things that our parents may teach us or our community around us may impress on us. But it's our responsibility as functional adults to be intentional about trying to break some of those curses and those thought processes to make the world a better place. Look, since Saturday, I've spent time out protesting. Protests that I've been a part of have been peaceful. I haven't seen any violence or rioting. Obviously, that's going on in my city. But it's intentional chaos. People are upset. People are fed up. So these are just this personal pocket. I've extended money to Black businesses that needed help from rioting and looting to be built back up. So I've walked the talk, right? I want to see more people of color, more people that look like me take real estate serious, use real estate as an opportunity. I have students of all races. I love people of all races. I want to see all people in this business, regardless of what they look like, win and be successful. There's no limitations on that with me in any capacity. But I do know at the same time that in my culture, our culture, Black folks, there's certain things that aren't understood that I want to make sure to help them understand that the life they want, the things they want, can be created through real estate, and it's up to us to be intentional about helping to set that up.
I agree. Like I was saying on my live the other day, some people probably had took it the wrong way, but I was saying like, this an issue that we have to look at and take care of firsthand. But the only way to change this is to change our, financial literacy, right? To really build that up, to really push ownership. Like when I was growing up, nobody wasn't talking to us about no ownership and owning houses, and you can run businesses, and you can go back and reinvest into your community and give people opportunities. Nobody told me that type of stuff, right? Only thing I knew was go to college and get a job, right?
Yeah.
So many people struggle with that, and to pour into our children so we can try to stop the trap right then. The only way out is our children, right? Just like Martin Luther King and them thought, hey, the only way out is to make sure we give the next generation enough opportunities, at least in segregation, and then let them take it from there. And once we end the segregation, then that's when we're supposed to take it, and then our children supposed to take it. This is a 150-year process that we just beginning. And as a culture, we got to come to better a lot more.
Nah, I want to say something on that, man. Us in the Black community as leaders, is our responsibility to step up and show the way. It does start in the home. It does start with your children. Here's the thing, man. Black people are angry and upset. A lot of millennials, a lot of young people are angry and upset. But we have to be strategic and intentional with our actions.
Exactly.
We have to stop allowing our anger of the things that have happened to us to cause us to not be aware and paying attention to the opportunities that are in front of us and available. We have the conversation about gentrification a lot in our community and things of that nature. We need to be having conversations instead of complaining about gentrification. We should be having conversations about how can we obtain ownership and be a part of growing and building neighborhoods into the next phase in those communities and having ownership and being a part of that. But in order to get there, I think we've got to, it's okay to be angry still, but we've got to accept that anger and that pain. And then we got to start having strategic planning conversations in the community on how do we build and move these things forward. And not solely just to our benefit, but obviously to benefit our community, but to benefit everybody.
Right.
and I think those opportunities are there. And so we just got to be intentional about figuring those things out.
Yeah, I agree. It's like even like guys like Master P, right? He's always talking about ownership, ownership. So as I started to get older, when I started really listening to Master P, like, man, all I wanted to do was own things. Like I didn't want to just have a piece of it. I wanted to own a piece of it, right? And
Yeah,
when he came out with I don't know if you know about the rap noodles, right? He came out with the noodles. People was just tearing them down like, yeah, bro, them noodles got salt in it. It was all the
yeah,
salt, it ain't healthy. And I'm saying to myself, like, but y'all go buy y'all children ramen noodles, ramen noodles. But the minute he come out with his noodles saying, hey, this is alternatives that if you buy these noodles, one thing I can guarantee you is that I'm going to put some money back into our community through youth empowerment programs and things of that nature. And they like, nah, we don't want them noodles. We got salt in it, but you go buy the ramen noodles. It was crazy.
yeah, absolutely, man. 110%. I agree. Yeah, Master P is a business genius, man. He's done. Look, this is what I tell somebody. Master P has been along since I was at least in middle school, right? So
Mm-hmm.
any guy who's in business, self-employed, that's been able to sustain himself for 20 years is somebody that you should be paying attention to and looking to see what they're doing, because to stay in business, be successful for 20 years is not easy in any capacity.
Right, right. So, man, I definitely agree. Is there something you want to leave the people with?
Hey man, listen, you can find me on IG, the Chris Jefferson on Instagram. I go live every Tuesday and Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. I saw somebody in the comments say something about my coaching program. You can go to Instagram, click the link in the bio to apply. That'll set you up with a call. We'll have a conversation with you, see if it's the right fit or not, and give you an opportunity to get signed up. But look, man, I appreciate you. I appreciate you having me on. Keep doing the things that you're doing, and continuing to help people, man, and get them into this business and help them out. We need more people to be committed to that cause, and having realistic conversations with people about the business.
And I appreciate you. I appreciate your transparency. Hopefully we'll link really soon. Thank you so much for coming on.
All right, brother. I'll catch you, man.
All right, catch you. Be easy.
All right, you too.
You too. All right, guys. That's it for today's episode of Nothing But Nuggets. Like it's like listen, guys. Like real estate, real estate is not that hard, right? When I do my shows, I try my best to talk real estate and bring on nuggets. So definitely go home and study some things. Tomorrow I'll be having LaShawn Campbell on my show. She's my wife, my partner in crime, my best friend. We're going to be talking about a whole bunch of great stuff, relationship things, marriage things. If you want to get in real estate and you're struggling to get your spouse on board, tune into this live tomorrow. We're going to talk about how you can really take your life to the next level by working with the people you love and care about. It's going to be awesome. Until the meantime, I catch you guys later. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Just do me one small favor and share the live, share the post, share the YouTube video, comment if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe. And I got some amazing YouTube videos dropping between today and Friday. Catch you guys later. Thank you.